Have you ever wondered how we can edit files in the Linux environment? Like in Windows, we have the Microsoft Suite that can help us to edit different files. But in the Linux environment, we have what we call text editors. And one of the text editors we have is called the Nano text editor. But we can also use a stream editor, shortly called SED. In this video, I bring to you the Nano and SED text editors in the Linux environment. My name is Nelson. I would like you to subscribe to the channel, click the notification button, like and also share. Cat file.txt. It is talking about cybersecurity. First of all, we are going to look at the Nano text editor in the Linux environment. How can we read files? How can we save files using the Nano text editor in the Linux environment? With the Nano text editor, we simply say Nano followed by the file we want to work with. When we are using the touch command, we can create files, but these files are empty. But sometimes you may want to add content right away to the file. You create the file, and as you're creating the file, you add content to the file and then save the content. In the Linux environment, we can create and add content to the file by using the cat command, cat and txt. This is and then we press enter. Here we can write anything of choice, anything we want. As you can see, we can write anything using the cat command, and then we press Ctrl D to save. And when we say cat new.txt, we see that we have this content. But this can be done using the Nano text editor. We can simply remove the file new that we have just created, and we want to create a new file called nano new.t.txt and press enter. This is how the Nano text editor looks like in the Linux environment. We have the version is 7.2, and we have some of the instructions here down, what we can run with this Nano text editor. Let us write some content like security, malware, we say firewall. This is the content. Now we have written to this new file .txt we have just created. When we want to save in this Nano text editor, we simply say Ctrl O. When we press Ctrl O, we get this text down here. So they tell us the file to which we are to save this file, and this is the new file.txt. After you being prompted with this, you press enter, and they will tell you that you have written 4 lines, and sincerely they are 4 lines because we have this security, malware, firewall, and this empty line, this one. When we want to exit or close this file after saving this content, we say Ctrl X and we come back to the terminal. When we say cat and we open the new file that we have just created, we see that we have this content: security, malware, firewall, and the empty line. Sometimes you may open the Nano text editor without giving a file name, and you can say nano and you press enter. Still it will open. It's like you opening a new file in Microsoft Word. When you open a new file in Microsoft Word, it does not have a name already. You can create the name first and then you open it through Microsoft Word. You can also open without you having created the file right away, where you are going to add the content to the file. Then you say save as, and as you save as, you give the name to the file. And that is what we are going to do with this Nano text editor. Let us only write one word and say cyber security in this file. When we say cyber security and we press Ctrl O, now they prompt us with this file name to write to. Remember, we never gave a file name as we were opening the nano text editor. So here we can give the file name we want to give to our file. It is like you saying save as, save this as, let us say cyber.txt and press enter. Now we have written one line to this document. Then we press Ctrl X to exit. When we list the contents here, we see that we have this new file cyber.txt. When we say cut cyber.txt, we see that we have our word cybersecurity, and that is how we can use the nano text editor. We mostly use this Ctrl O to write out to a given file, and also the Ctrl X to exit the nano text editor. You can try out some of these commands like Ctrl K to cut. You can also use Ctrl U to paste. You can try out some of these other instructions in this nano text editor, and after you trying out, you can paste anything you tried out in your terminal. The SED command is simply a stream editor. It also helps us to work around with files, like replacing certain words in a given file. And this SED command is simply SED. It's called a stream editor, and this is how it is written. With the SED command, we can work around replacing some words in this file. We want to replace this word global to world financial systems. We can replace the word global with world by simply running the sed command and saying sed, open the quotations, and we use s here. This s is telling the sed command we are replacing, we are substituting. And then what are we substituting? We are substituting the word global, and this global we are substituting it with world. Then G, close the quotations of file.txt. What this command is that we are using the stream editor. As we are using the stream editor, we open the quotations and we say we are using this s. This s is substituting. We are making a substitution of the word global, this word global. And this word global, we are replacing it with the word world. Then we are making a global. This G is called global substitution in all the document. Anywhere this word global appears in our file.txt, we are replacing it with this word world, and that's why we use the G. This G is simply global substitution, but this S is simply substitution. Then we press enter. When we press enter and scroll up in our paragraph, it was this. We see that now here it was global financial systems, but now we have world financial systems. This is being given to us using this sed command. Let us see if this has been saved in the file, and we say cut file.txt and press enter. This has not been written to the file. What this means is that this sed command gets file.txt. After getting file.txt, it looks for this word global. The first word that appears to be global, it replaces it with the word world. After replacing that first word with global, it's going to look through this document. Do we still have more words as global in our file? If it is so, we are using this G as a global substitution. That means it's going to look for the more global words in this file.txt and replace them with world, but it will not write to the original file. It will only write to the file it has read. It reads the file, and as it is reading the file, it replaces the content and then prints it on the screen, but it will not save it in the actual file. And that is what this command has done. Let us say we are replacing security. We can't miss the word security in this document because we are talking about an overview of cybersecurity. Said, we open the quotes. We are replacing this security in small letters with the security in capital letters. Then we say G, and then I. Then we close of file.txt. we are now using the capital I together with a G. But before we run that, let us first say, then we grep for the word security. We want to look for any security words in small letters in this document, and as you can see, we have security at different points, but we want to replace this word security with security of capital letters. Then we say sed with the security of capital letters, then gi and file.txt. This capital I is simply case insensitivity. It is telling our command not to care for the caching of the word security, this first word security. Anywhere it appears, I know that this word is appearing. Some are in capital letters, others are in small letters. But let us try to open another terminal. In this terminal, when we say cat file.txt and we say grep and we use -I, we are looking for security, and we press enter, we see that we have this security in capital letters and this security in small letters. So to be definite, let us replace this security with this sec instead of security, the complete word. We know that we have this security in capital letters, this one is in camel case, this one is completely in small letters. So we want to replace these words in different cases with the word sec, and that is why we use this capital I, and then we press enter. You see now here we had security, but now we have sec. Likewise here, when we still open our file and file.txt and we look for security and we press enter, you see that it is not saved to the actual file. The actual file still remains intact, and that is what G and I do with the sed command. We can also try -i on this sed command, and what -i simply does is helping us to write to the file. As we are telling this sed command, we are writing to the disk. That means we are writing to the actual original file. When you look at this, we have security at these different points. We want to replace all these security words in different cases with security of capital letters. Then we say sed and -I, and we are substituting security of small letters with security of capital letters, and we are using a global substitution with capital I. Do not care for the caching. We completely want to change the word security in our document to security of capital letters, then of file.txt, and we press enter. The other side was giving us an output in the file because it was not writing to the file, but with -i it is writing to the file. When we rerun this command and say look for the word security anywhere, you see that in our document everywhere it appears to be security in capital letters, which means our sed command has written to this file this word to security of capital letters, and that is being done with the help of this -i. If we say sed and -i, then we are substituting security, it is security of capital letters with security of small letters, and then say G, then close of file.txt. This command will execute. It will tell this file that we are replacing anywhere we see capital security word to small letters, and then we press enter. When we come back here and we grep for the same word, we see that everywhere security appears, it is in small letters. All of it is in small letters, as we can see. If we come back and say we are changing this to capital S and then press enter, we see that nothing has changed. And why? This is because we are looking for security of capital letters, which is not in our document, and we want to replace this security in capital letters with security starting with a capital S. But since we don't have this security in our file now, nothing has taken place. That is why you see we still have security in small letters. But when we change this and say this is security in small letters, we are using a global substitution, it is going to change everything, and we press enter. Then we come back here and we run this command. We see that this change has taken place globally in the file, and that is what minus small I does. Helps us write to the file permanently. Another switch we can try on the sed command is the minus n and p. Sed minus n, we open and say we are looking at security, then p, we close file.txt. What we are telling this command is that this minus n is looking at the line numbers of file.txt. As it is looking for the file numbers of file.txt, it is going to look for n lines containing this word security. As it looks for these lines containing this word security with a capital S, we are going to print, that is the P. We are going to print these lines on the screen that contain the word security with a capital S. And then we press enter. When we press enter, we see that we have these different lines that possess the word security with a capital S. But this has not been saved to the file. What this sed command has done is reading the lines of file.txt. It has sought out this word security with a capital S. After looking out for this word security with a capital S, it has printed only those lines that contain that word security with a capital S. It does not save to the file. It simply reads. After reading, it performs the check of security and then prints on the screen every line containing that word security. We can also perform multiple expressions using the sed command, and this can be done using the minus small e extension with the sed command. Sed, the first expression, we can say that we want to replace the word security with a small letter with a capital S. We want to replace this word with, let us say, security in small letters, and we are using a global substitution, but we are not going to care for the casing of this word. Add another expression and we say that we want to replace the word global. When we come to this and we cut file and we look for the word global, it was not written, it was not completely changed. We still have global in our document. We want to replace global with world, and after replacing it with world, we are going to use the global substitution in file.txt and press enter. You look through the document, we see that security, this was a capital, security with a capital S is replaced with security in small s. When we go up here to the word global, it has been replaced with the word world. This has been done using this command, and in this command we have used the minus small e to perform multiple expressions using this sed command. That is how we can perform the multiple expressions on the sed command. Another switch we can try on this command is the D. This D helps us to strip off any line containing that word we have passed into our sed command, and we can say sed, it is security with a capital S, and we are stripping it off, that is the D, in file.txt and press enter. What this command has simply done is that it's going to look for any lines containing this word security with a capital S. It is going to strip off those lines, and that is what the D does. You can also say sed, and we can say security. We know that we don't have security in our document with small letters. It is security with a capital S. then we say I and D, and then file.txt. Now this I, we know what this I does not care for the caching of this word security in this document. Then we press enter. Still we get the same, we get similar output, because we have simply used security in small letters throughout, and then the I, the capital I, to not care for the caching of this word security we have passed into our command. And that is what the D does with the sed command. We can also do regular expressions on the sed command, and this can be done by using a minus capital E switch. If you remember properly, when we're using minus capital E on the grep command, it was called an extended grep or E grep. But here the minus capital E helps us to perform regular expressions on the sed command, and we can simply do that by saying sed, then minus capital E, and then we say we want to substitute. We have this command, and we've said this capital E, this minus capital E is helping us to perform regular expressions on this sed command. And when you look at this, is what we call the regular expression in this sed command we have simply gotten. We have simply entered. We know that in our file we cannot miss some keywords like malware or ransomware. Cut file.txt, and we are saying grep, and we are performing an extended grep of malware, ransomware, and we press enter. We see that we have the word malware and the word ransomware in our document. We have gotten a confirmation that we have these two words existing in our document. So we want to replace these words with another word called threat, and anywhere these two words appear in our document, replace them with threat, and that becomes a regular expression on file.txt. Then we press enter. In recent years, ransomware has emerged. In recent years, threat has emerged. We see now that we have this threat here and this threat, because this first threat was the ransomware and this one was the malware when we look at this line. But note that this has not been written to the actual file. And when we say sed help, this is the help page for the sed command. A quick recap of what we have done on this sed command is we have used the minus small n to print any line containing the word we are passing into the sed command. We have used this minus small e for multiple expressions on the sed command. We have also used this minus small I to write to the file permanently. Minus capital E for extended regular expressions on the sed command. You can try some other switches on this sed command and you comment down below, such that we also learn from you for whatever you got in your terminal while practicing out these switches. With all this, I would like to thank you for being attentive, and please continue liking the channel, sharing it out, and also subscribing to reach as many as possible. Thank you. We catch up in the next video.